and how did it go from the schools, from the whole Western region?
Exactly, there are so many things that continues to transpire in the world of sports within the region of Western Nile as far as school ball games are concerned, and at the same time, schools also preparing for music, dance, and drama of late. It's under the. It has come to sports. It has come to sports. Yeah, and also Odilo under 14 that has been organized by FUFA is also going on, and we will be splitting them one by one. I think we need to start with what has been transpiring and what continues to transpire as far as school ball games are concerned. And of course, let's give brief highlights of how that one of Arua City went. In Arua City, we had basketball, we had volleyball, we had netball, and also the famous one, which is always known to be in second term. I am talking about athletics, and the biggest playing ground that is known in the whole of Western Nile region. That's Barfa. That's where it's always taking place. I am talking about athletics. You know, these things have been alternated. They have been changed. I am talking about netball. During those days, recently, netball used to go together with the football in the first term, but it has been splitted whereby they have now renamed it to be ball game 2 together with the other sporting activities. Football was played in the first term. This time we had basketball, we had netball, and we also had athletics. Athletics and netball is still going on, not forgetting about volleyball. For Arua City, it went like this. Basketball actually was won by St. Joseph's College Ombati, and we saw Mbarachine Secondary School emerging as the runners-up. That's from the sector of boys. Meanwhile, from girls, it was Mbarachine Secondary School that won it, and we saw St. Mary's Joffe emerging as the runners-up. That means two schools actually registered for basketball from the sector of girls, and we saw 3 schools registering for basketball from the sector of boys. Like I said, Ombati, St. Joseph's College Ombati emerging as the champions, and Mvaria finishing as the runners-up, and the 3rd position was taken by the school, that's Pokia Seminary. And coming to netball, we are still talking about Arua City. It went into the hands of Arua Public. Arua Public of late, they are found of dominating netball, beating Muni Girls in the finals. It was actually the repeat of last season. In sports terms, we love calling them seasons, not years. Last year, it was also a Republic up against Muni, and this year it has happened, and the Republic again defending the trophy against the School of Muni. And coming to athletics, it was massive. It was massive. Our Republic also performing very well. That's in athletics, and also we saw RSS performing very well. And looking at it, the trophy for athletics for girls was actually won by Arua Senior Secondary School, and fans love calling it a SESCO. And then for boys, it was taken by Arua Public Senior Secondary School. And this one now takes our focus to how things have been transpiring at the regional level. Regional was played at Koboko Municipality, and it was hosted by Nyangilia Senior Secondary School, where we saw, unfortunately, ironically, only few districts actually turned up for the athletic sector. And we only had the Arua City, the Mada City, we had the Nebi Municipality, we had the Pakwati District, we had Dasi Vura District. Only very few, not forgetting about the host district, out of the, imagine out of the 13 districts, in fact the 12 plus the city itself 13, only 5 turning up for it. That's something, that means people are not impressed in athletics so much. I think you might be having something to say
about athletics. I think, should I say people, the breakdown has not yet favored people. Because remember, football just ended very fast, and people already in second term for the athletics. And you remember, schools have to double athletics and netball.
Yeah, these things are going.
Don't you think that's one thing that has affected maybe?
Yeah, to some extent.
Because budget-wise?
Yeah, it has affected because you need to coordinate athletics and at the same time also netball, and also you see some of these participants, they are participating in netball, they are participating in basketball, and also in athletics. For the case of some of the participants from Arua Public, they will have to participate in athletics, they have to participate in netball. I think only out of, not even reaching 50% out of 13, only 5 turning up. Still, they are going to represent the region, and of course the viewers will want to know how it ended. Still, Arua City continues to dominate it as far as athletics concerned. They defended the trophies from the both sectors. Last season, they won the trophy from both boys and girls, and we have seen it. We have seen it has repeated itself. And for netball, Republic still continues to dominate it right from the city level and also up to the regional level. The final did see Republic playing in Mvara, where they won Mvara in the finals, and it has taken them to the regionals. That means from the side of regionals, we'll be seeing Republic Senior Secondary School, the winners of the regional Mvara SS, not forgetting about that's Diofe, because they also did beat another school in the third playoffs. And also basketball was actually again won by St. Joseph's College Ombati, winning it at the city level and also at the regional level, maintaining their wing. And for volleyball, it has gone that side of Yumbe, into the hands of a school called the Midigo Calvary. That's how the setup has been. Like I said earlier on, for athletics, it has come back to Arua City, both girls and boys also.
Should we say Arua City takes this so serious than any other? What are some of those schools that, what are the names of some of those schools that turned up?
Yeah, if you take a look at schools that have always been so impressive when it comes to regionals, when it comes to any sport.
Who turned up this season?
This season, specifically, let's talk. This time it is at district level, yes, not the schools.
Yes.
Yeah, districts that actually turned up for the regional level. We had Arua City, the city itself.
Sorry, I thought, yes, district level, you're supposed to have schools represented.
No, when it comes to athletics, but for those other sporting activities apart from athletics, they take schools at the regional level. Okay. But for athletics, it now goes to that district, whereby you will have to pick the district itself. Will have to select best participants from the various schools to represent the district.
So Arua City itself, did they have athletics here, maybe to shortlist the best to go and represent them in district?
Yeah, Arua City actually, they came up with the best participants at the city level. And right now, as I speak right now, you look at the faces that are going to represent the region at the national level, at the national championship. I should say 80% of the participants, I am talking about athletics, they are actually from Arua City, based on the fact that they actually gathered the both gongs, both from the girls and also from the boys. Of course, that one gives that platform for Arua City to go with a wider number of participants.
A lot to be done, and of course, interestingly, you could say that's where things are going well.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how schools investment, you need to put in here and there. You need to put a lot of money. The Ministry of Sports and Education and Sports gives money to make sure that at least even in the government schools, you would see that there's that sports fee that is being put by, that is the government. And then if you look at the private sectors, of course, you will see that there's also a sports fee that is always charged on each player or each parent for a student to come in. So were there some private schools that also joined?
Talking about private schools, there were only very few. Talking about leaving athletics behind, because it was based on the districts and also on the city itself, that's Arua City, coming to the other sports sectors like basketball, volleyball, maybe netball, whereby schools will have to battle it for themselves, not at district level as at city level. It has been as usual. For netball, the turn-up was massive. The famous schools that are always known of performing very well, extremely wonders in netball, we saw all of them turning up, the likes of Diofe Girls, Mvaras, Republics, and even those other famous schools from the other districts, we saw them turning up in numbers, with the exception of only very few. That's Obong. Obong, they are always behind when it comes to school sporting activities. I did not see any school coming from Obongi to represent in any sports sector. Basketball, as usual, is still a new sporting activity, though it has stayed, but people, they don't impress it so much. Always the schools that are known of basketball, Ombatime, Bimvara, and also St. Charles, Luanga. Plus, but netball, you know, netball is almost like football. People impress it so much. The vibe in netball was almost like that one in football, but the other sporting activities, it was not all that.
Now, a very big one. Of course, Ombachi, if you say they win, it's not rocket science. It's not by mistake, because they've been in this basketball for quite a long time. In fact, Ombachi was known for football, academics, and basketball. The only school in that is let's say West Nile, that was so much known by basketball, was Ombachi. During those days at school, you would say maybe the times of Farish, you would see these are people. They had some Sudanese even who would come in and of course have a lot of experience with the height that favors them, with the energy. So it is one big
also
one, but I think, to me, I think schools should all embrace this.
Yeah, truly,
now,
schools.
the question comes to, do they have the courts? Because at least for Ombachi, it has the basketball court.
Actually, that was the point I was coming to. The problem is we have an inadequate of some of the sporting facilities in the whole of the region. Like for basketball, it was hosted by Koboko Municipality, Nyangire SS. We came to realize that the host district and also the host school was not having a substandard basketball court. All along, it was shifted from Koboko, from Nyangire, to be played here in Arua, because the famous place in the region, which is known of sports basketball court, is that one of Mvara Demonstration Basketball Court. From Koboko, it has been played here in Arua City at Mvara Demonstration Basketball Court. What does it mean? It means the question is still hanging. We need to answer the question. Like you said, we need to start embracing all the sporting activities. How do we embrace it? By providing, if not standard sporting facilities, maybe substandard sporting facilities, such that everything can go on smoothly.
All right, that's a very big one. Of course, maybe Mvara could, because they have a nearby at, what is that place called?
Mvara Demonstration.
Yes, that's where it is, and there could be one team to talk about that would be getting an upper hand, also to be like Ombachi, that is also doing well. But all in all, I want to say that it's still another one. Benson joins me with the local scene
also,
and a lot of things that are happening. Now let's get to the Odilo. Before maybe Odilo, if you
before Odilo, still talking about the ongoing ball games, athletics still under ongoing ball games. The funny thing is, you know, to represent the region, Western region at national level, they came up with the participants, those best performers from the various districts. And before those boys, those girls, they came together for a collective training like this, all being gathered in one place, training camp. Arua City athletes were training differently. Then those ones from the other districts were also training differently. I try to...
Why?
According to the report, I had an interview actually with their head coach. He said they will be joining them afterwards in 2 or 3 days' time when they will be flagging off.
And yet this is a team that needs to be together to make sure that the blend is going on well.
The time I had the conversation with him was on Saturday. It has only lasted yesterday, and the team was traveling tomorrow. And now, of course, just directly, this one obviously will affect the team, because you have been training differently. How will you understand yourself? And there's been a course. How will you know that this one fits in this one fits in this one? Of course, those are the challenges we continue to encounter. What I can say in summary is the team for athletics is flagging off tomorrow in the wee hours of the morning. We'll keep on updating you. But netball, basketball, volleyball, yet pending. We'll also talk about that one when the right time comes.
All right, thank you so much for that. But all in all, I think that's a bad sign. We may not see the best out of the team. That's one thing that I'm seeing.
The good thing is last year, I should say like that, they performed somehow good, because they finished actually as the runners-up, and this time they are hoping to see that they beat the other regions. But finishing as the runners-up, of course, it motivates you a lot in the upcoming season. This time they are saying that they will do something, but with some of the challenges we have just been analyzing.
Who is their coach?
Their coach is, the name has just skipped out of my mind here, but he's one of the teachers from Nile High Odia, that side of Odia. And Nile High Odia is always a school that is known of athletics. I think they have gone for a very good coach, but we cannot judge him at the moment. We will first have to see the outcome.
We are 20 minutes into 2 p.m., of course, with another interesting moment right there. And exactly 2:30, we shall be taking a break to make sure that we have the first stanza of this show. Take a break, and then, of course, we come back again in the second round. But all in all, local is always our biggest. And because we love giving you the local scene, around probably, let's say 80% is what we did always love to give you, courtesy of the local sports right here in West Nile television. I still want to take our focus back to how the West Nile region is doing in terms of performance and others in other games or in other games disciplines that have come through now. Odilo is one that is going on. Is it for the secondary school or is for the primary? What I always know is for the primary. So what is happening right now?
Yeah, what is happening at the moment is the ongoing Odilo Cup. You have said it is actually a tournament which is always organized by FUFA. It is yet a new tournament in the region, and we have seen some of the districts starting to impress it, and it started here in Arua City. But as we speak right now, it has just come to conclusion on that side of Marata district, a small district. In fact, I should say a baby district. The best terms will be like that. But they have come up with a record by registering 14 primary schools. In fact, this tournament is actually for primary schools, not for secondary schools. It is actually, it comes with an opportunity for under 14 schools. Of late, it's not the way how we are in primary. It's the strategy has changed, whereby of late they only consider under 12s when it comes to the ball games for primary schools. And FUFA has taken that initiative to also come up with a strategy to see that those ones who are maybe under 14, under 16, they are also given the challenge, they're also given the chance, because if they are only catering for school ball games for primary schools, they're only considering under 12s. That means FUFA feels they are also killing the talent of under 14s and under 16s. And also, one good thing I've realized in the tournament is players who have the talent, who are still under 14, under 16, maybe they are not at school. Schools can go and pick them. As I said, the focus is all about how massively Marata DFA, Marata district, of course, is performing, registering 14 schools, and the tournament is going on so well, is something which is massive, which comes with the plus for the district of Marata. And it came to conclusion. It was 2 days tournament which started on Friday and it concluded on Saturday over the weekend, and the trophy going into the hands of the Sikoi Primary School after beating Yivu Primary School by 3 goals to 0. And Owen, someone will want to know something little about Odilo, why it is called Odilo. There is a brief background about Odilo. Odilo is actually a local football, and in Acholi, according to the research actually I did, in Acholi it is called Odilo, but in our language here in Lugbara it is called Odikia. Odikia. So FUFA actually derived that term which is used by Acholi, connecting it with the ones from the other regions. That is how the history has been built on. Actually, it is someone will also want to know the mission behind this tournament. It's just all about identifying and nurturing talents for the kids. That is actually the biggest thing behind that tournament.
Interesting, that's it. And of course, Benson has wrapped up for us whatever has been happening in the world of local scene right here. Of course, disciplines, to talk about the games that have, in different disciplines that have come through. Now, before we get to that is other things, Benson, I want us to talk about primary schools. Now, all those are secondary, apart from the Odilo, that is a tournament that mostly primary schools attend in or under 14. But now let's look at primary school games. How did they go on? In the region, where have they reached? Because someone will want to know how far with the primary school games. Now, this time they were for football, I think. Have they played?
Yeah, of course they will want to know where it has reached, where it has started, like you have asked, and finalizing with Odilo. It will not stop at the district level. The champions from the various districts will have to meet between themselves. That's at the regional level. After regional level, it will go to national level. After national level, it will proceed to regional level. That's at the East African level. Leaving Odilo there, discussing about the ball games for primary schools. I think they're about to start. Not even thinking, because I am always with them, in touch with the people who are behind these ball games. They are about to start. And schools are actually for massive preparation. You visit some of the schools nearby, you will find that they are actually massive for trainings. And for primary school ball games, it's not like a secondary school ball games whereby netball has been splitted differently from football. But for primary schools, it will be going concurrently with netball. Mostly they will only be participating in netball and also in football. Mostly it is for districts, it goes by sub-counties. But we only have in one city here, but for Arua City, it will be going by division to division. They're about to start. By next week, they will start.
Okay, by next week it will be starting. That's a very good one from Benson right there. And we're expecting a lot. Now, one thing has been that for the primary school, you've seen players coming right there. How are teams preparing? I know you've been with them. You should be knowing how they are preparing. How are they, and where do you think, some of the teams that you're seeing, may it be a threat in the due course?
Yeah, going district by district, maybe school by school, particular this time taking the schools within Arua City. Arua City primary school ball games, it has always been fantastic in terms of competition, but there are some schools that are always known to be favorites when it comes to these ball games, division by division. Like this one of Arua Central Division, you may mention schools like Bright Star, you may talk about schools like Oasis, you may mention schools like in Arua Primary School, but to the other parts of the divisions, maybe that side of Aivu East, you may talk about schools like Ombatse, you may mention schools like Arua Primary, maybe that side of western side of Aivu, maybe schools like Yivun. That is how it has been, but the preparation is going on well. But also I try to talk to some of the coaches who are managing some of these schools. They are saying that they have found it hectic to manage some of these boys, some of these players. You know, the way how a teenage understands is not the way how, of course, someone who is already in his or is in her youth stage understands. They have found it hectic to deal with these boys. But what I can say is we are just trying to nurture talents amidst these boys, but we have not seen so much wrangles, maybe in discipline cases when it comes to primary school ball games, unlike in secondary school ball games. But the schools are preparing so well. And when it comes to the ball games, you will see the fans turning up in numbers.
Okay, now let's wait and see how that will be right there for schools. But if you look at what exactly is happening right now, there are a lot of things, just like how it happened. In the basketball, the business of post time is now as the national basketball team is getting underway as I talk right now, because the playoffs are getting done soon, and the tip-off is already here, which is going to be this week. According to the reports coming in there, the 2024 National Basketball League, of course, season, the one that moved on, concluded on Sunday, which was yesterday, and now time for business because teams need to strategize. In the men's division, City Oilers, you talk about KIU Titans, you talk about Namuwongo Blazers or the NAM Blazers, you can talk about the KCCA Panthers, you talk about the UCU Cannons, then our savior, teams like JT Jaguars, and of course Kampala Rockets, who have also come through. These people have occupied already the top 8 position to advance to the playoffs. As if you look at whatever is happening, because right now as I talk, the defending champions are JKL Lady Dolphins and UCU Lady Cannons, and KIU, not forgetting Rangers, KCCA Leopards, JT Lady Jaguars, Miracle Ravens, Magic Stormers, and UPDF Lady Tomahawk are all in this position to see that things work out. Now, these are the names for the ladies or the women teams that are made to go for the women division playoffs. So that means the match up for that is the playoffs as I talk right now, quarter-final series that will be played in. That is the best of the 3, of course, complete across that is both divisions. So, first is going to be on Wednesday, of course, 10th, where at least you will be seeing that the season, yes, the losers, KIU, the finalists, of course, KIU Rangers will be taking on Miracle Ravens, followed by Namuwongo Blazers playing against our saviors. So these games will be coming in the due course of the week. So we should be expecting a lot of things. But Friday night, we'll also see a couple of games, including the matchups, and the first round will take center stage in the women's division, as KCCA Leopards will be the team that is talked about, and a superb finish in the round struggled in the recent games will be against, that is the little side. I'm talking about JT ladies in there. So all those are some of the things that are coming in the due course now.